Okay, I'm going to try to cover this to bring some sanity to myself. Uh, and what's funny is in the time that they were supposed to be working on this, the one student that really needed to be looking at things did not. So don't forget, hit subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell. I don't have a good title for this other than Trig Characteristics Practice Test because it's basically like what's left of trig after you do right triangle trig and the unit circle. It's I'm down with that. The math potluck. Okay, so make sure your name's on your work. Okay, now the amplitude. Remember the amplitude. Well, it's kind of like somebody went and pulled in stuff from our notes that could actually help us. Because I was really waiting for somebody to say, "Wait, Mr. Jeffries, I don't have that thing typed out on my practice test." Well, so sorry. Now, so what is the absolute value of 3? 3. So that's our amplitude. Okay. Horizontal shift. Okay. That's right here. Okay. So it's minus. So we're going to go to the right, and that value is 2 pi. Okay. The vertical shift, this is our K value. This goes up 5. Okay. And the midline is also Y equals 5. Okay. Now, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 points. Really easy to get right there. Okay. Really easy 8 points. The reason why the period is actually more is due to the fact of you have to do a little bit more work. Okay. So remember, anything that's in front, that's our B. So we're going to have it's 2 pi over B, which is the same thing as 2 pi divided by B. So this is 2 pi divided by 1/2, which keep, change, flip. So our period is actually 4 pi. Okay, and that's it. That's all we have to do with that. I'm not going to ask you to graphing these on paper is about as much fun as trying to do a 3D drawing on a 2D piece of paper. Says you. I went through a lot of different papers and a lot of different pencils and erasers in college trying to draw 3D drawings. Well, you are just amazing. Okay, now, so there's 2 questions like this. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, so this whole section is out of 24 points. Okay, 24 points for this one section. No, it does not change depending on whether it's cosine or sine. Yup. All right, are we good copying that down so I can scroll on to the next one? Because as soon as I move this, somebody's going to go, wait, I'm not done. Okay. All right. So for number 2, same process. Okay, this is our A value. So now I just put positives on here. It could be negative tomorrow. I don't know. I haven't made the test yet. That's something I might think about later today or tomorrow morning. Potato, potato. Okay, so amplitude is absolute value. This is going to be 2. Horizontal shift. Let's see. It's a plus. That means it goes the opposite way. So this goes left and then pi. Vertical shift is down 7. And then midline is y equals -7. Okay, this is what's funny. If you get these 4 parts right, okay, you're going to actually end up getting a whole lot of points. And this the period stuff. It's some of y'all did really good, some of y'all not so much. All right, so this is 2 pi over 4 because anything right here, that's our B. Well, what does that reduce down to? Very good. And that's it. Okay. talking about the characteristics. Now, if you were to go back and look at the notes from, let's see, this was last Monday. So that would have been Monday, the November the 7th. These two problems are like the last few problems of those notes. Wow. Okay. All right. So everybody good with number 2? Anybody need more time? Everybody good? Yes. What's going to it's going to happen. I'm going to move it. Somebody's going to say, don't do it. All right. So what's the frequency, Kenneth? Now, by the way, have some of y'all enjoyed some of the answer choices for your homework? Because I try to be funny with them. I think they're hilarious. That would be funny. Okay. Frequency, that's the number of cycles per unit of time. Wow, this is actually brought in from our notes. So this is B over 2 pi. So if this is our B, I'm going to say 3 over 2 pi. And I'm going to leave it. Okay. You're actually, this is one of those things that I really wish some of y'all would write on your orange sheet uh, to help you for the test. If there's a pi, leave it in there. So many of y'all missed some of the stuff on the last test because y'all said, like, instead of like negative 11 pi over 4, y'all actually gave me a decimal. What the heck? When have we ever done that? Okay. All right. This one right here, this is 4 pi. This is our B here. So this is 4 pi over 2 pi. Yep, just 2. By the way, I'm hearing lots of sniffling. There is tissues at your disposal, and if you need to step out to evacuate your sinus cavity, please do that, because the more that you sniff it up your nose, the more likely you are to have a sinus infection. Yup. All right, so this is our B. Okay, if this is being divided by 2 pi, this is the same thing as saying pi over 2 times 1 over 2 pi. Okay, now, cool thing about this, all I did was to keep, change, flip. When you multiply it, you're actually going to get pi over 4 pi. All right, next week is Thanksgiving. What do you think is going to happen when Mr. Jeffrey sees a pi? It's going to go away, just like these. So this is going to be 1 over 4. Okay. Some of y'all got more sniffles than Pablo Escobar. That is saying something. Well, the fact that nobody can actually hear like the voices on the microphone as I'm just sitting here like talking to like, for all anybody else knows, I'm in a room by myself having conversations with people that don't exist. I mean, people are like, well, he is a math teacher, so he could be like John Nash, except John Nash was a genius, and Mr. Jeffries is just like moderately adequate. John Nash, he was a mathematician that had schizophrenia and saw people and things that weren't there. Actually ended up winning a Nobel Prize. So, yep, it's very interesting. There's a movie called A Beautiful Mind. I suggest watching it next week. All right, are we good here with 3, 4, and 5? These are 3 points each, so this is out of 12. So right now we are at a total of 36 possible points. Okay. All right. The sinusoid. Okay. Because we don't know if it's a sine or a cosine. I don't I don't know why we just don't call it a sine wave. People did drugs. All right. So here is 0. I told y'all to start here when x is 0. Follow it along. Okay. And it actually repeats. Wow. Too much of that disappeared. So here, okay, this is how long it takes to do that. So here's pi. All right. So this would be pi over 4, pi over 2, 3 pi over 4. Okay. So we're going to say 3 pi over 4 for our period. 3 pi over 4. Okay. Now, amplitude. Well, we kind of need to find the midline to help us with that. All right. Look, here's the middle. Okay. So that's our midline. So our midline is y equals -2. That's our k value. Okay, this is our, wait, that's not our period. I was about to say I'm gonna come back and do the period. I forgot. All right, so our amplitude, if this is the midline from here to here goes 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Okay, so our amplitude is 2. Okay. Now we know this is a sine wave because the way it starts at 0, so this is going to be 2 sine. And the only thing left is to find our period. Okay, so we actually have, we said 3 pi over 4 equals this. This is what the reason why I have this set up this way. A lot of people are like, I don't understand how to find this. Okay, well, imagine that. Not a lot of people are paying complete attention to it. Okay, so we set it up as a ratio. Okay, so we would say 3 pi b equals, let's see, 4 times this is 8 pi. Okay, we're going to divide by 3 pi. So b would actually be 8 over 3. Okay, now this is just the way it worked out for this one. I'll try to make sure that your b is actually a lot easier to find on the test. I'd rather have the practice test harder than the test. You know, oh, that would be, there we go. Now, all this stuff I'm doing extra and everything, that's what you should be writing on your orange sheet. Huh? What for? The setup, the 3 pi over 4? Because I said this was, if this was pi, this would be pi over 2. This was close enough. I didn't actually have it zoomed in enough to get a thing, so I just, for this one, I said it was 3 pi over 4. It will, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. This would be 1 over 4, correct? This would be 2 over 4, which is 1/2. This would be, yeah. Okay. So, now, as we're doing this one, remember, to find out if it's sine or cosine, start when x is 0. Okay. Is this at a max point? Yes, that's at one of the highest points. So we know we're going to have a cosine. Okay. Now, it looks like it goes from here to here. Okay. Now, this is 2, this would be 1. Okay. Now, remember, you could find your amplitude by saying your max plus your min, okay, divided by 2, if you wanted to do that. Okay. Nope, that's not right. That's not right. All right. This is our midline. So 4 is 1, 2. This is actually 3. There we go. All right. Our midline is at y equals 1. So that we have a plus 1 right here before our x. Okay. So from when it starts to when it ends, this ends at pi. Okay. So when I set it up, this is pi over 1 equals this. It's a ratio. You cross multiply and divide. Okay. Well, this becomes b pi equals 2 pi divided by pi. B equals 2. Okay. Now, these 3 things right here, the amplitude, period, and midline, that's worth 6 points. Okay. You should at least be able to get those 3 things in for this 8 points. The only thing that you possibly could miss would be the cosine or the sine. Okay. There's a reason why these points add up to this, or almost add up to that. All right. So that's 614 plus 28. All right. So far we're at 64 possible points because this has 28 out of 28 points right here. Okay. All right. On the back, law of sines and cosines. This was Wednesday's work for people that's needing to go back and look at stuff. All right. Now, the way I have this set up, you actually have to tell me how you're going to use it, what you're going to use to solve it. Okay. I am given, he didn't mean to do that, this angle and this side. I'm given this angle, but I need this side. Which one of these laws helps us find a side when we're given angles and sides like this? Is it law of sines or law of cosines? Yes. So which law we're going to use? The law of sine. Okay, that's worth 2 points. Well, to set it up, well, the sine of 72 degrees over x or whatever we're doing, or we could have said little a, I don't care what you set it up as, equals the sine 44 over 14. Now, solve this. You would cross multiply and divide. Okay. Some people are going, it because if you cross multiply, so you have x sine of 44 equals 14 sine 72 divided by sine 44 sine 44. Okay, so you can actually plug that into the calculator. You could say like 14 sine of 72, get that, and then divide by the sine of 44. Okay, now I forgot to put this up here. I'll make that note. This gives us 19.16. Remember, when we're finding a side, we round to the nearest tenth. So this would actually be 19.2. Okay. Now, for people that wasn't here Thursday, I would suggest going back and watching that lesson for law of sines and cosines. Okay. You would use law of sines when you're doing stuff across, like, okay, I was given this, it's across from this, I was given this, I'm needing this one that's across. Okay. Huh? Yeah, the opposite side, if you want to say it that way. If you want to be all fancy. Oh, it's the opposite. Why? Why is it law of cosines? I know, but why is the next one the law of cosines? Yeah. Okay. Other than the fact that, these two sides are adjacent, that's the way it does in my brain. We're actually going to use the law of cosines for this one. Okay. Where, look, I'm given two sides and an angle between it. Okay. Two sides and angle between. Two sides and an angle between. That is how I would know I was using the law of cosine. Okay. Now, I don't have that memorized in the way that my notes are set up. I've got to go do this. No. So I'm going to snip this. And it doesn't matter what letters these are. They're all literally the same thing. Okay. So I'm going to set this up. Now, so I'm going to set it up. This would be, I don't know, you could write this x. This is technically little c. We could say little c squared equals 12 squared plus 21 squared minus 2 times 12 times 21 cosine of 65. Okay, that's part of it. Now, you can actually put all this in the calculator like I have it written right here. I'm going to rewrite it down here because it's easier to read. Okay. You can put that all in at once. Ah. Okay. It's going to give us a really big, weird number. Okay. When you put it all in at once. But we're not done. After this, you have to take the square root of this. So I would hit second square root, second answer. That's if you have a calculator like mine. Some other people's have calculators where you got to hit shift. Okay. We get 19.28. All right, we're rounding the nearest tenth, so this would actually be 19.3. Okay. So think about it. I'm asking you to tell me how you're going to solve it. I'm asking you to show me that you're going to sit up to solve it. Then I'm asking for the answer. I want to see the process in your line of thinking. Okay. Yes, no. I think we've lost some people. Yeah. The ship is going down. If this was the Titanic, who's going to be the four people playing the instruments as the ship is sinking? No, no. No, I think I know who it would be, but I'm not going to name names. Probably you. You'd be going, the ship is sinking. Okay. All right. Now, part 5. Oh, by the way, we're up to 96 points up to this point. Okay. So after this 8 points, we're going to be at 104. Okay. All right. Just as some of your homework said, this is similar to what? Okay. Look, I'm given a side, an angle in between. Wow. Yeah. This very similar to law of cosines. So in the calculator, bless you, or gross, or I don't know what type of bodily function you're having right now. Okay, so I'm going to plug that in all at once. So 0.5 times 12.9 times 10.1 times the sine of 112. Okay, I've got to add around to the nearest tenth and stuff. Because this has a 0 right here, it's actually going to be, because it's 60.40, this is actually 60.4. Okay. Similarly to this right here, this is going to be 1/2 or 0.5 times 6 times 8 times the sine of 32. 0.5 times 6 times 8, 32. Okay, so I get 12.71. I'll only look right here. I don't keep looking any further. Okay, because this is less than 5, it's just 12.7. Okay. This is out of 8. Whoop, wrong way. All right. Believe it or not, some of the easiest stuff is on the back. Like, I'm sorry, the last 2 sections I think are the easiest sections. That's just me, though. Okay. All right. Are we good here? Everybody got 9 and 10? No, not yet. Okay. So I would, for part 4 and part 5, I would have notes on my orange sheet. Hey, if I'm given this, I'm going to use this law. I would probably have it set up. Okay. This, I would actually have something like this written down. So I'm like, okay, I just plug that into the calculator. All right. So solving these small trig equations. Now these are actually from the unit circle. All right. So let's think just a little bit. I'm asked for tangent. Tangent is sine over cosine. Okay. Now, the only way that we can divide something by itself and get a negative would actually be in the second or the third quadrant. Okay. Now, huh? All right. So, what could it be? What's the only one on the unit circle where it's something where it's like sine and cosine are like exactly the same values? No. Yeah, it's as the pi over 4s, right? Okay. So, and that would be, like, so 3 pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4. Okay. You're just telling me those angles. Okay. All right. Number 12. Sine of x is 1/2. That has to be in the first or the fourth quadrant. Okay. Now I had something up here. Oh, here it is. This is an old thing I have. It's similar to y'all's. Okay. So when the sine is 1/2, that's going to be pi over 6. And then down here, it's 11 pi over 6. So pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Okay. What? I should make a poster unit circle? I'm allowing y'all to have, your orange sheet. Literally, this thing that I have saved right here, I found this somewhere and copied it and put it on a Word document, and I've saved it since then. Okay. You can Google stuff easily to try to make your orange sheet. All right. Cosine is x. What two values are on the y-axis? Pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. Remember, I'm sorry, on the y, yeah, it's on the y-axis, so that means because cosine is your x value, right? Yeah, we had a test on that already. Some of y'all did good. Some of y'all had the plague. All right. Cosine is negative. That means this is in our second or third quadrant. Okay. It's going to have a pi over 4 on it. I wonder if it's similar to this right here. It is. We have 3 pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4. Okay. So that was 90. We're at 104. So we have a total of 116 possible points on this test. Lots of ways to get some points. Though, if you don't come in prepared, like, I'm not saying that you got to remember how to do everything. I'm saying if you know as soon as you get your test tomorrow, your mind's going to go blank, I would have the best orange sheet of all orange sheets to tell me exactly what I need to do. That's the main reason y'all have that. Okay. And for other people, if your teacher doesn't allow you, I'm sorry. All right. Don't forget, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.